What's good, Black Star Podcast? Welcome back to the channel. It's your boy Jared. Y'all, today we're gonna be looking at a video from Shay Sade. Sisters, let's have a conversation here. Why y'all crashing out so bad?
When was being a single mom a thing? And now that the government's not coming to rescue you, now it's a problem. You shouldn't be a single mom anyway. Crashing out on the internet again. Now they're crashing out because they're like crashing out, crying on the internet because now they're saying that the United States government is not set up to support single moms. So they are saying, Black women are saying, and maybe some other women, and not all Black women are saying, that crying, saying that the United States government is not set up to help single moms. It's not set up that way. So let's roll it back to like the 60s. Remember when the United States government was actually rewarding certain demographics of people to keep men out of their house? Remember? You know what I'm talking about? Y'all were getting
She's talking about the no man in the house clause.
food stamps, Medicaid, housing vouchers, and the only stipulation for eligibility was you couldn't be married and there couldn't be a Black man or a man living in your house. You had to be single. And you guys were down for it. And I know this for a fact because my mom had a friend who was on welfare. The more children you had, the bigger your welfare check.
So again, she's referring to the no man in the house clause. You know, the complicated thing about this time too was at the same time you had this going out and there was this basically Black women were able to get assistance from the government as long as there wasn't an able-bodied man there. This is at the same time Black men were systematically being kept out of jobs. She's absolutely right that that was a thing, and this women definitely found themselves in positions where they basically made sure that they or by themselves or didn't have men around or whatever so that they could get the government support. I also think though sometimes like there's this narrative created that Black women just woke up someday and were just like, you know what, we just hate all Black men and we want to choose the government and just get rid of Black men. And I think that's not taking into account the environment that was cultivated. There is truth to what she is saying, but we also have to remember that it's rather complicated. If you're a woman who has children and also Black men at that point are literally systematically being kept out of jobs. So they're being in places where they're disenfranchised. And it is a depressed environment. It is an oppressed environment, and people are in survival mode. So while what she is saying is right, I don't think it's necessarily fair to say at that particular time, Black women were just trying to find ways to get rid of Black men. They are not the ones who created the policy, the government did. That did cultivate an environment, that cultivated an environment, and then when you start adding on feminism, and then we start adding on tensions between women probably being like, why can't Black men take care of me? But Black men being frustrated that they literally can't get jobs because of systematic racism and Jim Crow laws or whatever. It's a powder keg. And so it just created this disdain. But now on top of that, what is the fascinating thing though, is that as the trend continues, Monahan Scissors shows that as unemployment goes down, right, as Black men start to get access to more resources, basically to jobs, the Black female welfare goes up. And so this is why now you have people who start to argue that say, hey, you guys at some point you did choose the government over us. I believe the environment was cultivated. And as Black men weren't there, generation after generation, you have the matriarch, you have feminism that's cultivated, and then you have distrust that has been cultivated. That's been there in the Black community since day one, because that stuff was fostered in the plantation culture. I think it did create the environment we're seeing now, where women said, oh,
Honestly, when it comes down to the reality of the situation, is this: women chose comfort and the government stability over over a man. Simple as that. They chose to rely on government assistance. They chose to rely on government to sponsor them when it comes to damn near everything. They chose it. And the problem is when it comes down to the reality of all of this, they chose welfare, child support, and all these different things over actually building a proper relationship and a proper marriage. And the sad part is they don't see nothing wrong with it. They don't. And the saddest part is they don't recognize their fault in this. They sadly saying black men don't want to be fathers. They're constantly saying that shit. But when you actually look at the situation as a whole, that's not the case. Black men do want to be fathers. Black men are fathers. But the problem is the black men that they are messing with aren't the men that they need or aren't the men that they want to be fathers. It's quite sad, actually.
We don't need men. We've had generations of them not being there. Government's doing this. It's easier for them not. It's easier to not know how to get along with a man. It's more comfortable for me to depend upon the environment. And this is the environment that she's talking about.
And I know this for a fact because my mom had a friend who was on welfare. The more children you had, the bigger your welfare check.
Oh, that's
You guys were good with that. You
yeah.
just
No, that's absolutely true. And this is where I'm saying it cultivated an environment. I don't know that I could say that black women just woke up one day at that time and said, okay, we want to get rid of black men. Bye. I think it was more of like it was an oppressed environment and black men and women were surviving and that created tensions. I think that's more accurate. At the same time, you absolutely had that cultivating a culture where black women were just like, oh shoot, I can just all I gotta do is just have babies and depend upon the government and that's it. And so that happened. With that said, let's just be clear that white people have historically benefited from welfare more than black people. Let's just be clear about that. And I'm saying that doesn't change the fact that there are absolutely black folks who sit up here and do some crazy stuff. But so often we paint this picture that black people are the only ones using welfare. But I'm like, there are white people who use welfare all the time. I mean, white people are the majority of the country. So just if you think just purely from a number standpoint, there are more of them on welfare generally than black people. Black women aren't the only ones out here doing crazy stuff. Just unfortunately, we do it at such a high percentage and oftentimes so vocal about it and obnoxious about it. It's hard to miss. Okay, let's continue.
pumping out babies
Yeah.
and all of the government's tit. But now, because Trump is putting a kibosh on the eligibility requirements, you guys are crying, saying that the United States is not built to support single moms. When was being a single mom a thing? And now that the government's not coming to rescue you, now it's a problem. You shouldn't be a single mom anyway. Now, there are a lot of women, hear me before you go in the comments, that are single moms for several different reasons. My mother was a single mom. People get divorced, shit happens all the time. People need assistance, government assistance, every once in a while, maybe, maybe not. But the goal is, can you help me? And then you work to not have to be reliant.
Yeah, the goal is to be assisted, not for that to be your employment or your long-term job. That's what she's saying. And I completely agree. Like, I am so not against programs or things that can help people who need assistance because I recognize in a capitalistic economy, there might be times where people need assistance.
But here's the problem, and this is what all it is. We're talking about a society, not a society, but we're talking about a community that grew up on, let's face it, a lot of welfare. A lot of welfare. We grew up, we as black people, we grew up in a community where we only had the mother in the household, not the father. So we've always had to rely on either the government or had to rely on the struggling mother. Now, my mom at one point in time, when I was a kid, she did have to go file for not child support, had to file for government assistance because she had lost her job. But she never stayed on it. She never tried to stay on it. That's the difference. My mom never stayed on it. You have women that are out here literally getting pregnant and keep getting government support day in and day out, as many kids as they can. Then we sit around here acting like, how the fuck are these people getting fucking food? How the fuck are these people riding around fucking BMW with 3 kids, 4 kids, and well, I can't even say that one. But they ride around this motherfucker with a whole bunch of fucking food in their cart and getting $20, $30 damn rent. Like, we look around like, what the fuck going on here? Government assistance. Now that Trump's added a cap on them on that, now they over here like, turn my shit back on. They crashing the hell out. And it's not, and the craziest part is, I'm gonna see if I can bring up. I'm gonna see if government. I'm gonna see if I can find some of these crash outs.
Y'all, I live in Chicago. Do y'all think these people finna sit the fuck back without no EBT? You know how many bitches I know that got like 9 kids and depend on that shit? You think they finna wait for the Democrats to stop doing this shit? They ain't. They not. I don't want to do it. But who in the fuck gonna feed these kids? Who gonna sit back and listen to their kids being hungry all day and everybody don't even like helping each other?
Is they raggedy ass fault for having fucking multiple kids by multiple different men and not having no fucking stable household? Is their fucking fault?
If we being for real around this bitch, what y'all fail to realize is they work for us. Maybe we need to make y'all sit here and complain and let them do whatever. I'm tired of that shit. I'm tired of that shit. We need to come the fuck together.
While us successful black men are sitting back counting our 401ks, crypto and stock investments, Kamala Harris voting black women are on TikTok crashing out and threatening domestic terrorism over missing their November EBT payout.
These people are crashing out over EBT.
Y'all, I'm just gonna go on down there to the little Social Security office, and sign up for me a little check because I must be crazy if I think I ain't gotta work. I just don't think I was put on this earth to work like that. I know I wasn't. Y'all, I'm just gonna go on down there to the little Social Security office, and sign up for me a little check because I must be crazy if I think I ain't gotta work. I just don't think I was put on this earth to work. Like,
I don't think you. I don't think these people understand that it's their job to become something.
I'm gonna tell y'all straight up like this. I just got that text that the link is definitely cut the fuck off for November. Y'all better stay the fuck out of my way in these stores. I'm walking out with carts and I'm not paying for shit. Trump, if you want, motherfuckers start looting. Oh, it's gonna happen. Before my kids go broke in this bitch like Jock, I'm gonna be stealing like it ain't no tomorrow. I am going to go in that store, get everything I get regularly. I'm going to bag my shit up, swipe my link card, as soon as that bitch say, ain't no pending balance on there, I'm going to walk the fuck out. And I'm gonna have one of my cousins with me that'll punch your ass so hard you gonna think a Jet 2 holiday hit your bitch if you think I ain't finna walk out that stuff.
So she's admitting to committing that she's going to commit a crime. She's going to literally go on the grocery store, try to pay with her EBT. If the EBT doesn't get accepted or approved, she's going to still walk out with the groceries. So she's admitting that she's going to commit a crime.
And please follow me to that car if you feeling you ain't gonna make it back to your position at that Walmart store. I'm telling you.
So apparently food stamps are going to be canceled for the month of November, and that woman went on a crash out talking about if her car doesn't go through, that she's going to walk out of Walmart with her groceries without paying for them, and she dares anybody to try to stop them.
Yep, and she's threatening that she's going to, she's literally delusional as hell. Look at this next one.
The government shutdown literally happens every year. Every year. Y'all are going to be fine. They do this. They fake punk this shit every year. It's been happening. Y'all gonna be fine. Y'all will get your stamps. They may not be getting paid right now, but it's all being documented.
She said y'all gonna get just misinformation.
Before you crash out, hear me out. Now, this video is for all of my non-military service members and my retired military service members and my active duty senior military service members that have the gall to ask why people were stressed out that they wasn't about to get no paycheck. Now, I want to be clear, okay? For some people, it wasn't about not getting the paycheck. It was the fact that I was still required to come to work and not get no money, okay?
This got something else to do with that.
What's up?
Bill. Yeah, this is one of the dumbest fucking things I've ever seen in the United States.
This is nothing new in Pennsylvania. In Pennsylvania, you actually do have to provide all kinds of evidence of applications that you have put in, interviews, all kinds of stuff. And if you do not provide that evidence, you're kicked off the programs. These programs were implemented to help people temporarily. So if they lost their job, they got fired, whatever the case may be, they were able to utilize the programs, get food in their homes until they got back on their feet and got into another job. But see, everybody is on these programs for years and years and years on end. They're taking advantage of it. People are not working because they're getting free food stamps and they're getting cash assistance. So why bother getting a job when the government's giving it to you? I'm glad that shit like this is happening. Now, I have utilized the programs. I'm not afraid or embarrassed to admit that, okay? I utilize them. I have 3 children. It helped keep my children fed, kept us afloat. I don't utilize it now, but I have. So I'm glad to see that the government is actually forcing people to get off their asses and get a job.
You want to know the bad part? You have people that's going to try to defend this shit. That's going to try to defend them not having to go out there and get off their ass and go out there and get a job. Oh yeah, there's going to be people that try to defend this shit. I don't understand how you would defend this. I really don't. Because to me, it's like this. If you don't go out there and do nothing or make any money for yourself, I mean, granted, if you need assistance, I understand it. But if you just damn taking money from the government and they're not actually out there doing something for yourself, yeah, you deserve to get kicked off that. So, yeah, anyways. Like, share, subscribe, channel, support the podcast, support.com. I'll see you guys on the flip side. Thank you guys for listening. Bye, guys.